This felt like the perfect movie for both genders. You got zombies for the men, love stories, and gossip for the women, but one of these aspects is totally mismarketed. I hope you figure out which one. Okay, so Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So Pride and Prejudice and Zombies follows the story of an upper-class woman named Elizabeth Bennett, who is the very definition of a classy woman during Regency-era England, but has been trained to fend off the army of the undead. That is until a mysterious dude by the name of Mr. Darcy, who is also a trained zombie hunter, comes into town expecting zombies to be flooding England. So now these two must swallow their pride in order to team up to not only fight the army of the undead, but also put aside their differences as they get into an extremely tension-filled relationship. Now, I understand that the original Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen is a literature classic, but for me, it doesn't really appeal to my demographic. Because most of the book is love stories, gossip between the upper classes, and certain points of views that one may have with the other. I get all that. Hence, Pride and Prejudice, duh. But adding the whole zombie storyline in there got me pretty excited that this newly adapted story is gonna be the ultimate guilty pleasure movie. Pride and Prejudice characters are not only fancy upper class people, but now they're zombie hunters? It sounds really stupid, but it's so cool at the same time. When in reality, it's just stupid. This is the kind of movie that lies to you. I'll start off with the performances once again before I get into the real shit as to why this movie isn't totally what I expected. You got Lily James as Elizabeth Bennett, who last year we've seen her as Cinderella, and she was actually really good in this movie. She illustrated very well that even without her zombie killing, she doesn't need anybody else to protect her or save her, and she was basically a strong character, and I really like that. And not because they show a lot of her cleavage, but she's she's a really strong character and a very good personality. But then you got Sam Riley as Mr. Darcy, who I thought was just okay in the movie since most of his scenes were very emotionless. I didn't really buy him as a human being. Like, there's this one scene where he doesn't find Lily James beautiful at first, but until he sees the talent that she has with killing zombies, he's like, oh, her dress, it matches the color of her eyes. I think I'm in love. But he has the same tone of voice as if he was talking normally. I'm like, dude, you're the zombie right now. And then there's Matt Smith in the movie. So a little bit of warning for this character. Some people may find him extremely annoying in this movie, but for me, I didn't really mind him that much. He was like the comic relief and the huge bumbling idiot, but the sad thing is, he was probably the best part in the movie. I only say that because 50% of the time, he did make me laugh and he did show emotion, unlike some people. It's weird of me to say that the idiot was the best part of the movie. Now, for the actual movie, I thought it was gonna be this year's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. The title alone makes you say, that sounds like a really stupid concept. Yeah, but the trailers made it seem like it's gonna have a lot of action. I mean, a lot of stupid fun action. You're there to have a stupid fun time, since that's a definition of a guilty pleasure. But in reality, it's just a Pride and Prejudice movie, but when they interweave the zombies into the story, it does not mix well at all. Because let's say you take out the zombies completely, it would not be any different, because you still have the tension-filled relationships along with the whole gossipy he said, she said aspect to the story. Look, I'm not in any way saying that the actual story of Pride and Prejudice is terrible. I'm just saying the whole marketing team behind this, making it look like it's all zombie action, it's all a lie. All the scenes you see in the trailer are basically all the action scenes you see in the movie, because the rest of it is just talking. Some may find that extremely boring. I understand this relies heavily on the original story of Pride and Prejudice. I'm just speaking for the fellas out there. You will be bored to death. It's sad to say that at a certain point in the movie, I totally forgot there was even zombies in there because I was like, okay, it's basically Pride and Prejudice. The very thing as to why I wanted to see this movie in the first place wasn't even a huge part of the story. You could have taken that out completely, like I said. How I would summarize the movie is that the beginning, it sets up really well that it's gonna be a really stupid yet a really fun time at the theaters. Throats are being cut, heads are being blown up. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm in for because I'm a guy. If there's zombies in there, that's what you want. And then the rest of the movie is just talking and talking and more talking. It just makes you forget that there's even zombies in there. But the zombies do come back towards the end of the movie, but you're like, where in the world did this come from? I thought they were just talking again. It's such a poorly paced movie where at times I almost fell asleep. I honestly cannot call this a good movie. Anything with zombies in there should not be boring, but somehow this movie did that for me. Because in the end, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is a totally mismarketed movie. You got the Pride and Prejudice in there, but you barely have the zombies. You like some of the characters, but you don't really buy them towards the end of the movie. But I say the only really positive thing I can say about this is that there were sets and locations in the movie. They all looked really cool. But if you're a dude who's looking for the zombie action like you were promised in the trailer, you're not gonna find it in this movie. Because I say if you want to see Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, just wait till the Netflix release. What's next now? George Washington killing witches before the Revolution? Actually, That doesn't sound too bad. So anyway, guys, I want to know what your thoughts are about Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. What did you think about it, and what is your favorite guilty pleasure movie? Whatever it is, leave it down below. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all that social media shit down below. Keep in contact with me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And as always, may the Force be with you.